Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9. We just finished the finale, and everybody wants to know, who is it on that radio? Now, we're going to have some options today. There's 3 or 4, I think, really solid suggestions. We're going to funnel it down a little bit. And I saw a couple people actually said, well, if we listen to it a little bit more closely, if we do this. Now, remember, they're very tricky on The Walking Dead. So the person on the radio probably isn't the person that's going to be playing it later on. They probably distorted the voice and everything else. But before we get started, I want to thank you guys, as always. A lot of streams today. We started out with a rant, then we got into the realness of The Walking Dead, did a little bit of a fear review, and here we are talking about the radio. And tonight at 9:30, if you guys want to talk about Negan, we're going to get Negan, and more Negan. Super shout out to our Patreon army. I've not updated. I saw a couple new patrons just added a little bit ago. We got some new channel members, so hopefully by the 9:30 stream we'll get everybody's name up there. But I do want to do one thing. I'm going to ask all the members to help me out with something. We got a, occasionally we have just some super awesome fans, and one in particular is Derek. So what I did tonight was I took down my emoji and uploaded a custom emoji for Derek, and had some challenges and fighting through it. Derek is a tremendous inspiration, and I want everybody in green, my entire green team, do me a favor, because I know Derek's listening in, and Derek loves Harley Davidsons. So if you guys can put the Derek 999 Harley Davidson up on the screen right now, everybody in green, can you give me a little bit of emoji time? So, Derek, just a super special shout out. That's for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the 999 Army. Thank you for joining us on the Facebook fan page. You're incredible. So let's get that as an official part of this video. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. Looks like we got some code working there. I like it. I'm loving the emoji. Just different things that we can pop up and just pay some tribute to from time to time. So we are going to jump into this topic tonight. It is certainly... Oh, hold on. I forgot one more thing before we get into the radio topic. Derek did have a question, and Pete D wanted to super chat that for Derek as well. So we're going to make this our super chat spotlight tonight. So the question that Derek wanted to know is, why is Alpha so mean and hits her daughter? So I want you guys to think about that and give me a couple answers, and I want to read this out because that was Derek's question of the day. So I know there's some easy answers out there that she's just an evil person, but it may be a little bit deeper and a little bit more dark than that. In an earlier stream, I did talk about maybe Alpha went through a rough childhood and she was abused, and that's the way she learned, which was the wrong way. Julia Muse says she was abused herself. She thinks it'll make Lydia stronger, says Deborah. She just lost her mind and the world has changed her, so she thinks that that's the way it's supposed to be done these days. But a lot of people do think that she was abused and she's got a distorted image. Pete D, she's sick and thinks it's helping her by making Lydia stronger. So definitely really good answers. So I know, Derek, there's a lot of choices to choose from there. There's probably no right answer, but it's probably a combination of all those things. So thank you for that question. As I said, thank you for being a part of our 999 Army. We continue to grow and continue to grow stronger. So the radio, a lot of people are talking about the radio. There's theories all over the place. And you guys know I am only on issue 120 on the comics. So I'm 56 issues away from finding out who Stephanie is and Pamela Milton and the Commonwealth. So we haven't even went through the Whisperer War, but The Walking Dead from time to time will tease some things a season in advance, and then we got to go back and say, yeah, we remember what was going on the radio. So my challenge in the off season, in addition to keeping up with the news and the spoilers and the theories and all the predictions and everything that we do, my challenge is to get through the Whisperer War. So I'm going to be hitting these comics, doing some, we do them as premieres, so instead of reading them live in live streams, I'll record them. We'll kind of watch them all together. We had a little bit of that going on, but then the season kind of went the way the season goes, and we're glued to our televisions and news and every little bit of information that comes out. So I will be ramping back up the comics, and my goal is by October to be up to this point where we're talking about Commonwealth, or at least, well into the Whisperer War. So with that being said, I can Google with the best of them. I have no problem, putting Stephanie's name inside a browser and Googling it and find out who she is. And it's, I think Charm said just a little bit ago, apparently Stephanie is a radio operator, and Eugene has some conversations with her after the Whisper War and after Eugene's opening up, talking, because Eugene's married to Rosita. So Alpha kills Rosita in the comics, puts her head on a pike, and Eugene's talking about it. She empathizes, and I guess later on, her and Eugene hit it off. And but she's not the best of characters, from what I found out. So this could be the beginning of something long term, or they may completely flip the script on us, which I think is very likely. I don't think it is a Fear crossover. I know that theory is kind of making its way through. I don't feel like, look, there's a lot of radios. Everybody's talking on the radio. We saw Radio Tower in Fear. We see Althea on a headset trying to make communication. Morgan's whole motivation at this point is to reach out and find other people so they can help them out and just give their stuff away. There certainly is enough radio to go around, I guess. There is also the opportunity that it could be Maggie and Georgie. A couple people had brought up, well, why would Yumi, Magna, why would there be any conversation about Maggie and about a council if they weren't trying to plant the seed for that to come back? I don't know if Lauren's coming back. I've gotten some mixed vibes of that. You guys remember the Maggie rant. I called a lot of heat for the Maggie rant. But it doesn't seem like they're on the best terms right now, that they're kind of willing to go their own way. But I still think it's a story. So if I had to stack rank these to a radio voice, my personal thought would be not the Commonwealth quite yet, but a higher probability of it being the Commonwealth than Fear. Not Maggie, but a higher probability of it being Maggie than Commonwealth. But I think it is either Jadis or somebody connected to the group that took Rick and are going to set it up for the movie. I think if that voice was not, I do think there will be another voice that will come over on the radio. This doesn't mean it's the only voice. Cyber says it's someone from K-Rock. Hi, this is Killshot from 106.7 FM, talking to you live on this Monday night. Looking for anybody that might be out there. Are you lost? Are you alone? Are you looking for another group? We can send in some choppers and absolutely do something about that. Hit me up on the love line, and I will be your path to freedom. This is Killshot signing out. There you go. See, it could be anybody. It could just be a voice. But it was a female voice, and it was a very scratchy, low female voice that is probably not the person that is ultimately going to be the person. Remember all the shadows and all the takes and all the fake spoiler videos and all the background and all the stuff that came out about the Negan lineup, and that never happened the way we thought it was going to happen? This is likely just something to throw us off. It's something to kind of divert us a little bit. We've got Jim09 says, anyone curious how they got letters to Maggie? I can ask the question. Jim, I'm personally not curious because I don't care about Maggie, honestly. But I will ask, who is curious about how they got back and forth with Maggie? I guess, Jim, I would be more curious of why they lost contact with Maggie and why Maggie didn't show up for either one of the funerals. I mean, she's better have a good excuse, right? What could the excuse possibly be? What would be more important than not attending? And I guess we don't even know if Maggie's still alive. Ollie Smith said it sounded like Ann. I mean, we make the assumption Maggie's alive, but that's kind of a cool card for Angela Kang and Scott Gimple to hold at this point. I mean, maybe, you know what? It may be some hard bargaining. I could see Scott and Angela sitting back in the room and, hey, Whiskey Cavalier didn't work out. Yeah. Well, we didn't kill off Maggie. You want to bring her back? What was she making before she left? Yeah, $300,000 episode. What does she want? $600. Yeah, give her $150, bring her back. No, I don't. I'm making light of the whole thing. She left for more money, better opportunity. I don't feel slighted in the least that she left. But I think they're at a point now where they don't need white knights to come in and save the show. Would you guys agree? Would you agree that the show does not rest upon the shoulders of Rick Grimes or Maggie Rhee? That the show goes on. Negan's great. The characters are great. Daryl's doing a great job. You're getting just tremendous acting from everybody. So I think it's some good cards to play. And I mean, I would say it would be the ultimate slap in the face, though, to kill her while she's not there. Is just kill off her character. Might be a little bit twisted, might be a little bit vindictive, but, hey, something comes over the radio, it's Georgie. Hey, can I speak to Maggie? Maggie didn't make it. And it's like, what? All this drama, all this buildup around Maggie, and she didn't even, she left, and we don't even know where she is or who she is anymore. Pete D, my Maggie is your Tara. But, yes. But I am interested in Baby Herschel. We can bring Baby Herschel back. But in all seriousness, could I see Maggie coming back? I guess. But how do you guys think that character is going to fit in? Give me a rationale. Give me a reason. If they bring her back in the middle of next season, she comes in guns a-blazing, and she's a badass. All right, I might say, okay, it's cool. Neat. You come in like Abraham and start blowing stuff up. Yeah, I would kind of like that, I guess. But then what's the reason? Hey, where you been? Hilltop is in complete wreckage. You were helping some other people, and you weren't here for us. Okay, now that actually, Own It 55 says Maggie walking to Hilltop with Alpha's head. Yeah, now you're speaking my language. But she's been gone. She doesn't deserve to get the kill. So I've kind of been saving what I think is the most likely, at least to me, is it is someone that is connected to Rick in somehow, some way. That sounded like the start of a rap song. Somehow, some way, I keep coming up with funky stuff like every single day. I think if it's not Jadis, it's somebody we'll find out. Hey, I Googled and found out who Pamela Milton was. I didn't know who Stephanie was on the radio. I know who Jadis/Ann is, and I know Rick's with her. So maybe there's somebody else that's a radio operator. And people were out of the room, so the voice really, honestly, the voice isn't even relevant, is it? If a tree falls in the woods and nobody is there to hear it, does it make a noise? If a voice comes over the radio and nobody's there to hear it, does it really matter whose voice it is over the radio? That's pretty deep. So I would argue it doesn't. The voice isn't relevant. Unless somebody else hears the voice, and if somebody else hears the voice on the show, at that point, it becomes a topic or a focal point. It becomes, okay, who is that on the other end? Because if the characters don't even, well, what we need is we need a character to either recognize the voice or not recognize the voice, and then it'll make a little sense. And I know that sounds obvious, but it is true. And it doesn't mean that they won't come back at the beginning, and they will. One of the big storylines is probably going to be, when do we hear the voice, right? So last season, it was the scars. You know, they lift up a shirt, you see an X, and it's like, when are we going to find out about those scars? What happened? Well, I doubt episode 10, first episode, is going to be like a radio follow-up. It's probably going to we're going to be agonizing over it. Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 3? We're going to find out when that voice was. And then we got to figure out how many episodes Michonne's going to be there. But if I had to bet, and I will tell you, our predictions they're pretty good. They're pretty good. The last year, I would not want to bet against the 999 Army. There was some major stuff that went down this season that we were on top of. Again, you guys might have forgotten. But if I had to gamble on it, I would say that radio is going to be initially the reason why Michonne leaves. M. Dav says, Commonwealth story is snooze fest. I hope they remix it. And they will. They will. All right, so one of the bold predictions that we made when we first saw the radio and we saw Father G and Rosita early in the season was what? We said, actually, before Rick died, we were already putting theories out there like, Rick's going to leave, he's going to be taken, something's going to happen, and we're going to hear Rick's voice over the radio. Now, we weren't 100% accurate with that, but we were accurate. There was a voice over the radio. So, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad doing this like almost a year in advance. So, good job to you guys for that. I'm going to take, I don't take credit often, but I'm going to take a good piece of the pie here. And I know a lot of you guys probably just got hungry because I'm talking about pie. But let me say, and we'll talk about this tonight, with the whole Negan storyline, I have been on top of this one from day one. And if you guys have followed this channel for the last year and a half, you know exactly what I'm talking about because I was the biggest hater of Negan in the world. I didn't like him. And I said, this is what they need to do, step by step by step. And I said what? I said, they need to put him in a situation, in jail, reform him, carry on Rick's legacy in some way, have Maggie spare him, and build a bond with Judith. And I swear to you, I said, and he needs to save Judith. And if he does all these things, fans will love him. I didn't have a single spoiler when I said that. Pause for a moment. That was stuff we did, and everybody here is like putting their favorite style of pie in there. So anyway, I'm jumping on the Negan story, right? But let me go back to the Army. Some of the stuff that you guys came up with in coordination with that. And how we are kind of where we are today. With the Pikes and with the Alpha Theory and how they rolled out everything. We're pretty close with some of this stuff. And we did say we'd get to a Negan redemption. I got a super chat up here, so I'm going to jump up here and then we'll get back on topic just in a second. Actually, hold on. It was not a super chat. It was a question. Daryl Stoltz says, why haven't Father Gabriel and Negan said anything about the helicopter to the group? I'm at a loss. We don't know that they haven't. We don't know if they believe it. We don't know if it's just going to be a story that comes out in the future. I mean, Negan's just now walking around without handcuffs. He's just now getting a little bit of airtime. I mean, most of the time when he says something, he could probably take his cup and rattle it, on the jail cell. Hello, I need a drink. But the problem is, as soon as Michonne walks up and he starts to say anything, she shuts him down immediately. Hey, Michonne, there was this helicopter, might have Rick. You stop talking. You manipulative something. You're just trying to... That's the way their conversations probably have went. She doesn't give him even a second to explain his point of view. Now that they're on speaking terms a little bit more, it's a possibility. Because Michonne, like many of our viewers, they don't trust Negan. She's going to be like, what's in it for you? The first time he came back, she didn't trust him. You're just trying to manipulate Judith. You're trying to get over on it. It took him going out saving Daryl's dog and her daughter in order to get a sentence. But I do think it was very important. She was walking away and she said, get well. And then he asked a question. She came in and sit down. She made the effort to sit down and have a conversation with him without worrying about him being in any type of constraint. I mean, he's there with no handcuffs, just having a normal conversation like two normal people. Thanks so much, Derek Pfister. Love your live chats, man. Love you guys being here. And I said we'd do this a couple times. Hey, once again, you guys do me a favor. One more super shout out for my brand new 999 Army member. If you guys can show the emojis one more time, give Derek and Harley Davidson a nice shout out. We're going to do some other shout outs with emojis, but we're kind of at the midway point, so let's do it one more time. Thank you so much. Not one, but two shout outs tonight, everybody. And then I'm going to transition back over to this radio, because if no one heard it, which they didn't, if we're going to be talking about it all summer, if we're going to be watching a Comic-Con trailer, and my woman in the field is the Walking Dead nerd that might be doing some recon work at San Diego Comic-Con and actually getting us some inside images from the panel, some information pretty quick. Access to the trailer a little bit earlier. We got some good inside information. We've had Hippo inside information. We've had Wilson getting us some inside information. And we're going to have Walking Dead Nerd. If I can't make it out there personally, Nerd is going to be feeding me some information. And when that trailer comes out, we're all going to be anxiously awaiting. One, we know there's a whisper of war. We know people are going to die. Just like today, we're looking at all the cool things with Fear, like Troy could be back, Daniel's going to be back, Dwight's going to be back, maybe we get an Abraham flashback, all kind of cool stuff going on in Fear. If you guys are not Fear the Walking Dead fans, I'm going to ask you just one more time, give it a chance. Go binge watch it now and hang out with us in Season 5, because Season 5 is going to be great, and we'll be here talking about it every night. But I think if Fear is going to be that good, it's going to have all these neat introductions. It's too early, and I don't want to just do this in the stream, but I am kind of curious. But next week, we're going to do something that we do every year. We're going to start counting down Season 10 episodes. We're going to get our bold predictions in like we do every year, like 6 months early, before the spoilers come out. We're going to start talking about what we think we're going to see in Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, Episode 4, so on down the line. And you will be surprised at how many things that we talk about in advance actually get some good data out there. They're writers. They're humans just like us. So we're going to start predicting it. So I'm going to say right now, just want a quick idea, a quick survey before we do the official Season 10, Episode 1. And you know what? I did. Hold on. Before I get into that, DeMilo just brought up a great point. I forgot about that one. See, we get so many ideas out there. Kills, your own point with your bold prediction From Ezekiel blaming Daryl theory to Negan saving Judith. Oh, boy. I'm not going to open any old wounds. I will say, half of you in this room were not very happy when I said that King Ezekiel would blame Daryl. Remember? Remember the venom you guys are throwing at me? Oh, the king he forgives everybody. He's not going to be like that, Kills. No, it ain't going to happen that way. I said, look, dude's a husband. No, Chris, just reminding the army, don't be so anxious to challenge and question. Just give me a chance sometimes. That's all. It wasn't quite venom. You guys, when you kind of throw your venom at me, it's a little light. It's definitely lighthearted. Kimberly was like, guilty. I did it. Hey, you know what? Just out of curiosity, just a show of hands. The nice thing is, you all came back the next night and we had a great conversation. But just a show of hands, how many people were on the other side of that argument about Ezekiel blaming Daryl? I just want to know. At least one person. Kim's like, it was me. I want to know which one of you guys not to send Christmas cards to next time I come up with a bold prediction. That's why I want the honesty out of it. Was a husband. That's a good point. Was. Oh man, look at this. Wow, like everybody's raising their hand. I thought it was half. It's like, Emmy, you betrayed me as well. Oh my! You know what? I could take it from everybody else. I didn't know. Like one of my own moderators stabbed me right in the back, like I was Jesus and she was a whisperer, out of nowhere. Just my final breath. All right. Well, anyway, moving on. So I want you guys to give me. And remember, when you type it, it's a permanent part of this video. Thank you, Ron Burgundy Moore. At least one person believed me and agreed with me. Give me a Season 10, Episode 1. And I'm going to tell you, first of all, I don't think it's going to be the radio. I don't think it's going to be like last season, with them. We're rebuilding. We got windmills. We're going to a museum. It was too up-tempo last season. It ain't going to be that. It ain't going to be the second half of a snowball fight. It ain't going to be rebuilding the communities. But give me a bold prediction from Season 10, Episode 1 that is not radio-related. I want your best. I want something that you think is going to go down. Natalie says Rosita had her baby. Okay. You think Rosita's going to live to have that baby, Natalie? I don't think so. I think Alpha is still going to kill Rosita. I think there's going to be more Pikes. I think you crossed into our lands the second time. Even though it was snowing, we saw your footy prints. Now there will be conflict. We will expand our borders, and we will mark them once again with bigger heads so you see them from a distance. I think Alpha is going to do a second border scene because the first one was not enough. It's going to be border scene times 2. You thought the comic was bad. Angela Kang is going to bring it. Rosita is not off the hook. Can you please go away? I mean, I'm proud of your heritage too, but please don't come in our stream and spam it because nobody else is. Really. Unbelievable. So I think Ezekiel and Rosita were too obvious the first time around, but Maybe no one is expecting it a second time. Now, I don't think it'll happen in episode 1, but I do think it's going to happen. Oh, people wanted more alpha? No, that's all the alpha I can do. Oh, I like that. How about Ray Beard says, we're going to make a border of our own. Oh, how about that? I do like that. I don't care about no damn border. I'm going to make my own damn border. Kill some bitch. Daryl's going to make a border out of whisper heads. Or walkers. But they kind of look the same. So you don't really know whether it was a whisper or whether it was a walker. That doesn't work. It doesn't have the same impact. Because we don't even know, like, the chain of command. Let me get a couple comments in here. Who Gang says, Season 10 starts with Alpha saying they've crossed them. It switches to all communities preparing for war. We like doing some super fast forward there. Yeah, I mean, I would have a problem with getting into war relatively quickly. They told a good story at the end of 9, so I don't know that we need to tell a really long story before we get into some action. Now, I'm not watching The Walking Dead just to see who dies every week. I love the story. But from what I've seen with Angela Kang, she likes to make the show happen quick. Wilson says Negan will be free and part of a group. You know, maybe our group will find a way to herd up some zombies. Maybe have like zombies versus zombies. Oh, I know what they could do. Oh, I got an idea. Alpha has zombies, and maybe the group grows some Venus flytraps, and we got plants versus no, that's probably a bad idea. Sorry, I tried to build up to the joke too long, and yeah, it didn't have the impact that I was hoping it was going to have. Yeah. Connie takes over the Whisperer Baby. Or Earl. I mean, Earl's still around. Anybody want to see Earl is just a buff, tank top, tattooed, hardcore blacksmith with some major weapons. I mean, I think Earl needs to be a boss. Like with some real high-tech weapons. He makes weapons for everybody else, but he keeps the really, really good stuff for himself. Fluff. Negan will offer to make Alpha stronger by using Lucille on her. That's a good idea. Beta. I cannot make the same mistakes. Negan comes out of nowhere. I got you, Huckleberry, right here. Boom. It's pretty good, Fluff. I'll give you credit. Fluff is also like the reigning master of rhyme time. Who's ready for some random things? Oh, really quickly, I do have an announcement we have to make. So not tomorrow night, but the schedule is going to change next week. So here's the deal. As I know, many people thought Walking Dead is over. We have nothing to talk about. That's absolutely not true. We're going to be talking about Negan tonight at 9:30. Tomorrow night, we will have at least one stream. Wednesday night, we'll probably not have anything going on. Thursday, we're probably going to talk a little Fear. Friday will be Freestyle Friday. And we still got a ton of Walking Dead stuff to talk about. But next week, we are going to bring back Random Things, which is going to be on Tuesday. Just something that we threw together a couple years ago. We come up with 6 topics, and they're all over the place. But it's a chance for not only our Walking Dead fans to sort of get in and talk about whatever. I mean, they can be completely off-the-wall topics, things that you might see in the news, things that you might read, a lot of music themes. Sometimes we just have rhyme sessions. It's just, I can't explain it to you. Just show up. It's a lot more loose. It's a lot more relaxed. It's a... Every once in a while, we'll throw a Walking Dead topic in there as well. Joe Fulford says, Carol sees Daryl with Connie, and she goes back to Ezekiel. Joe, I think Carol is going to go back to Ezekiel, or try to go back to Ezekiel anyway. But wouldn't that be the thing? Like, Carol, clears her mind. She gets everything out of her system. And she decides to go back to Hilltop to see Ezekiel, and she doesn't want to walk the long way. So she's like, "Hey, we crossed the border last time, no problem." And then she sees Ezekiel's head on the pike, the exact same pike that Henry's head was on. Oh, the irony! That would be Fear the Walking Dead coincidental. You couldn't script it any worse than that. And you know what? We're going to get a couple more comments in this video, and then we're going to move on. So really quickly, I do want everybody, make your bold case right now. You got one shot at it. There's 1 second left on the buzzer. The ball is in your hands. You have to shoot it. You can only pick one voice on the radio. Whose voice is on the radio right now? I'm going to say it is a voice we've never heard before, and it is someone that is connected to Rick Grimes in some way or another. I don't even think it's Jadis. I think it's just meant to throw us off, but I think it's going to be the voice that leads us to the reason Michonne leaves. So it is the voice of reason. All right, we got some people saying it is Maggie. DDA Ohio says it's Kill's wife. Well, Kills doesn't have a wife, DDA. Maybe it's Kill's future wife on the radio. We got Sherry. We got Maggie. Betty Jackson says Ann. Jadis. We got some people saying, now it's just somebody that we do not know. Kathy Parker says, I don't think we've ever heard the voice before. Uncle Creepy says Steph or Ann. So we're either Rick's group or the Commonwealth. Viola says Maggie. Will Sykes says, I agree with you, Kills. Louis Grimes says Kill's future. You guys are really trying to find me a future wife here all of a sudden. What's up with all of that? That was coming out of left field. Angela Kang. It's Angela Kang's voice. Roger, this is Angela on the other line. I'm a beast, right? I mean, I made this show awesome. Do me a favor. Green team. Show me that Angela Kang emoji. I got a feeling after I sent the tweet out to Angela Kang, I got a feeling she's listening in. I think she's somewhere. And the word of the emoji is getting around. So anytime she logs on, I want her to see this channel loves your work and appreciates your work. Good stuff, everybody. All right, we are 38 minutes in. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. You guys are absolutely awesome. I think we have 62 channel members now. We're 13 channel members away from unlocking our 75 emoji. YouTube scales it up. Let me say this. So once you get at first it was 1, then it was a couple, then it's 5, it's 10. Now it's 15 away. So we have 13 more, and we'll unlock to 75, and then after that it might be every 25. So these things they're getting high real estate. So those of you that have emojis and those of you that are super fans, enjoy it and appreciate it. And it is my gesture and my symbol to each and every one of you for everything that you guys do for the channel. Thanks to all the patrons in the top left-hand corner. If you guys are interested in becoming a Patreon, supporting this channel through a third-party website, there's a link down below. People are asking what's the difference between a Patreon and a member. A Patreon is a third-party website. We do polls. We do surveys. We do offline topics. They help me with content. I run ideas past them. I can't put an importance, what's more important between a Patreon and a member. However, I do lean on Patreons a little bit more as if they're partners. Channel members, you can see in the top right-hand corner, as I said, we're up to, I think we have 92, 93 Patreons. We have 62 channel members. So channel members is through YouTube. They get highlighted green text. They get custom emojis. Awesome stuff, and I appreciate each and every one of you as well. And also, we got moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kale, and a third party. We got a ton of people who super chat each and every stream, and I want to recognize those guys as well too, because they pay for their super chats and they get their comments highlighted in there, and we talk about their comments. So I don't ever want you guys to feel like, hey, what about the super chatters? You guys are great, and especially when you guys flock out on Friday night, because Friday nights is absolutely incredible. We do Freestyle Friday. There's a lot of super chats, a lot of topic changes, and it's a whole lot of fun. Some of you are members, Patreons, and super chatters, so you do a little bit of everything, and you're absolutely helping the channel grow. Cybermax says, someone from Fear the Walking Dead crossover, says Cybermax. Cyber, somebody that we know at this point, or somebody that we don't know? Is it going to be a character that we're going to meet that's going to be a future crossover, or are you saying it's somebody that we've already heard? Like a June. Maybe a June? Huh. Oh, you're not going to tell me. Come on. Don't give me the wink. Give me the answer. He's hiding it from me. Fluff Salisbury says, I can't stop laughing. I'm picturing Emmy on the other end of the radio saying smushy mushy. That would actually be good. Shh. Shh. Anybody out there? Shh. Can I get your location? Shh. Okay. Smushies and mushies. Emmy signing out. Shh. Yeah, I could see that too. That would be typical. And then if she actually heard somebody on the other line, she'd stand up and start dapping like a unicorn. So certainly. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody being here. We will be back at 9:30 tonight talking about Negan. So if you want to talk about Negan, you want to talk about all the wonderful lines, all the wonderful moments, his resurrection, his redemption, be here at 9:30. We don't have an hour warning, so you won't get a channel warning. Just know at 9:30, be right here. If you subscribed, you have a notification, it may or may not let you know. But if not, just tell your iPhone to set an alarm for 9:25 and be back here at 9:25. Easy, right? And one more super chat, and then we'll call it a day. William, the 999 Walking Billboard, said, Kills, thanks for reading my son's comment earlier. I'm sure he was excited. He's somewhere around here. LOL. Own it 55. Hey, absolutely. And with that, let's give William, the 999 superfan, everybody, can you guys flex the tattoo really quick? Let's do some Will the Billboard flexing, and then we'll call it a day. All right, everybody. There it is. I will see, hopefully, each and every one of you back here at 9:30. Talk to you then. Peace.